Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the committee, thank you for your attention. I am Mark Zakaria. I am here today in my capacity as a candidate for Congress in the 2nd District, and in that capacity, what I do is I go to numerous campaign events all around our state, primarily in the 2nd District, but elsewhere as well, every single day of the week. Now, 9 months away, I'm a very busy guy doing that 3 and 4 times per day. And I encounter citizens at every one of these meetings who are suddenly become students of history. Now, it warms my heart as a constitutional conservative that people are paying attention. I think what we're doing is we are seeing ample evidence of that in Massachusetts today. The fact is that the people are expecting that the Constitution as written will be the basis of the nation of laws, which we are. I think that I was at an event earlier today that was a veterans event, and I took the liberty of wearing my lapel insignia from my old Air Force uniform. When I swore my commission to the Air Force, I swore an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. I believe you have done similar things to the Constitution of the United States and here in the Constitution of Rhode Island. I think that people are suddenly aware of that in numbers that are unprecedented in my experience, and I urge you to bear that in mind and do what Rep. Trillo has suggested is a very simple and very right thing to do. Thank you.
No questions. Next we have Bruno Buddy Fasoni.
Mr. Trillo, I support this bill. By the way, my name is Fasoni. Related to Senator John Fasoni, but we're on different streets. I love him.
You have one hair then.
I do, and I'm a little bit old. I came back, I just want to say why I support this bill. This is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and that's what it is. No one is listening to us, neither in Washington nor here. Very few, not all, but there's very few that are listening. I came back today, I'm a Rhode Islander from Johnston. I put a sign on my truck that was for Brown. Win or lose, I went to Renton. Win or lose, it's going to send a message to Washington and to everybody in this building that we're not going to stand for anything anymore. We're fed up. The people in here have to listen to us. We call our senators, we have no voice. They don't listen to us. Whitehouse, Reed, Langevin, Marshall, whatever his name is, they don't listen to us anymore, and we're fed up. So I want this bill in, and even stronger legislation than that. We're not going to sit down, we're not going to take it anymore. When you see what happens in Massachusetts, and it's going to happen throughout the country, let them bring amnesty up. There's going to be a movement in this country like no one has ever seen. I want to thank you.
Timothy, is it Burchett? Burchett? Yes, sir. Timothy. From Narragansett.
Yes, I started on this about 3 years ago with the 10th Amendment, talking to everybody, and all of a sudden, eventually, it got popular. People started, like everybody noticed, that they were going back into their history books, becoming students of history, and I fell in love with the fact that Rhode Island had such a strong history within that history. They were the first to declare the Battle of the Gadsden. And the Revolution. They were the first to declare independence from the king 10 years before any other colony decided to do so. It's the homeland of Nathaniel Greene. I mean, there's so much heritage and so much backbone here that's unbelievable. And for this 10th Amendment to be honored in this sense with such a reputation of revolutionary style, I mean, it's unprecedented, and it's such a beautiful thing. And it's restoring Rhode Island to the greatness that it once was to me. There's no more important time than to be looking at this 10th Amendment right now. We are on a financial devastation tsunami. It's coming at us one way or another, whether we will it or not. The one thing that this financial tsunami has in common throughout all the states is it's 48 states. It's not just Rhode Island. 48 states out of 50. And the common denominator between these 48 states is the federal government's involvement through the Federal Reserve. Monetization, inflationary, deflationary processes, and they basically hijack commerce from our Congress. That's unconstitutional. We need to get back to getting control over our currency and not allowing inflation and deflationary processes hurt the middle class and the small people any longer. And we need to realize that this is going to be devastating even more than what we anticipate now. If we're not experiencing it, we will be experiencing it through your constituents before the end of the year, and it will get continually worse. They've already predicted over 3 million to 8 million more foreclosures before the end of the year. They're predicting 50 to 80% of the dollar's worth to be destroyed before the end of the year because of the monetization and basically the currency by the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury. I mean, these are cronyisms. These are cronies that are supporting corporatism, and it's not capitalism. It's not representative of capitalism. It's not representative of the American way. It's not representative of our Congress, because our Congress no longer has power over Congress. And we have to take that back, and this is a message being sent to Congress, and it's in a peaceful manner of a revolution. And that's what we want, a peaceful revolution. We don't want them to allow us to make peaceful revolution impossible before we know what the conclusion of that is.
Yes.
Today is the day to stand up and give them a peaceful revolution and a resolution, and this is it. And thank you so much, Mr. Trillo, for putting this in, and that's all I have.
Any questions for Timothy? Okay, last individual, Christopher, is it Carnes?
Carnes, yes, sir.
From North Kingstown.
Thank you for hearing us, and thank you, Mr. Trillo. I'm a commercial fisherman. I don't know if you know what's happening to us right now. What happens on May 1st? May 1st, they're putting us into sectors, right? 98% of the fleet is against this. There's maybe 2 fishermen in Point Judith that are for this. No representation, again. I don't know if you understand how much of the revenue that comes into Rhode Island is directly affected through the fishing industry. Whether it's the people that are making the nets, people that are taking care of the groceries, everything that surrounds Point Judith, it spreads out like tentacles across Rhode Island. The federal government has been stamping on us for years. This is just one instance. It's going to happen to everybody. We're just a small microcosm of the rest of the country. It needs to be heard. This is very important. I just pray that you think about freedom and what liberty really means to you before you're making your rash decisions. Thank you.
All right, that concludes our witnesses on this. Representative Trillo, did you have anything you wanted to wrap with?
No, the only thing that I would add to it, and Representative Walsh already brought it up, but really one of the significant motivating forces to put this legislation in was what we went through with the fishing license, and how that they just rammed it down our throats, that we're going to do this, or they're going to do it for us, when in essence it violates our own Constitution. So I just think and this is like everybody said, in terms of the resolutions that other states are passing, I mean, there are southern states that are saying they will secede from the Union. I mean, this is very concerning.
Representative Hero?
Rep. Trillo, I respect you for putting this in and I appreciate it. I had the same kind of, I voted against the fishing bill. I had the kind of the same ideological stance, and my 70-year-old grandfather said he was going to vote against me for re-election. but because of the practical impact of it. And I think there's kind of, not to be a downer, but there's kind of a little irony in us passing a resolution which has no binding effect on them.
It's only a message.
I understand that, but it's just, that strikes me in a kind of negative way. I think it's a good idea to some extent. Ideologically we're not on the same page, but we're sending them a piece of paper that they're going to ignore, and that kind of validates it.
We do it all the time.
Representative Walsh, and then we're going to conclude this hearing so we can get on with the next bill.
This is so appropriate at this point, because we were very much, some of us were opposed to that fishing bill. And if one person comes forward who does not get that fishing license and is arrested or is fined in any way, that's the point where this should be taken up.
Yes.
that concludes testimony on this bill. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, who attended today.